They were trying to compel people to say he was the greatest. Michael Jordan didn't say that about himself. Kobe Bryant didn't say that about himself. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't say that about himself. Bill Russell didn't say that about himself. Tim Duncan didn't say that about himself. Nobody said that. Nobody but him.
One man built a legacy so powerful the game itself crowned him. The other is still climbing, still trying to convince the world he belongs in the same space. Stephen A. Smith just dropped a truth bomb that cuts straight through the noise. If you're tired of hearing the same recycled arguments and stat sheets, this might finally bring some clarity. This isn't about tearing anyone down. It's about the difference between legends who earned their crowns and stars who keep campaigning for one. Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. The debate that never seems to end. But here's the part people don't like to admit. This stopped being a real debate a long time ago and turned into a rescue mission. For years, LeBron's circle has worked overtime trying to build a legacy the game itself never fully stamped as undeniable. Every new record comes with a rollout. Every milestone feels like a promotional tour. Greatness doesn't need to be sold. And that's the difference everyone keeps dancing around.
Every time LeBron does something, if Jordan wanted to, he would have done it.
I didn't say
if
that.
he's what you said he was.
Every accomplishment gets instantly compared to Jordan, like someone is trying to convince us of something that should already be obvious. If the case were truly solid, there wouldn't be this constant push. Jordan never needed approval. He never needed validation. He never needed a team online posting highlights the moment he stepped on the floor. He just played, dominated, and took over the league twice. And both times he walked away, the entire basketball world was left scrambling. That LeBron's career, on the other hand, has often felt like one long campaign. And now the cracks in that campaign are starting to show. Because greatness that needs constant defending isn't the kind that lasts. It's the kind that fades once the spotlight moves on. Stephen A. Smith has been warning about this for years. Now he's dropped a set of quotes so sharp and detailed, they tear apart the LeBron GOAT argument piece by piece. 12 statements that cut through the noise and force an uncomfortable truth into the open. Jordan is untouchable. LeBron is still reaching. And no matter how long he plays or how many points he scores, that gap isn't closing.
Jordan was the first 40-year-old to drop 40. That's number one. LeBron James is in his 22nd season. That was the 78th time in his career he has scored over 40 seasons. How many 40-point games did Michael Jordan have? 173.
If you're ready for the real conversation, lock in, because this is the truth. No fluff, no filters, just the cold difference between real legends and hype-built greatness. The elephant in the room is simple. Self-proclamation that LeBron James and his inner circle have spent years pushing one storyline, that he's the greatest of all time. Not hinting, not suggesting, declaring it loudly, constantly, and without hesitation. And that alone says a lot. Because in the history of basketball, no true all-time great ever had to do that. Michael Jordan never called himself the GOAT. Not once. He let 6 championships speak for him. His perfect finals record said the rest. Kobe Bryant lived the game like oxygen and never crowned himself either. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar held the scoring record for nearly 40 years, won 6 MVPs and 6 rings, and never ran a campaign. Bill Russell stacked 11 championships and let the rings do all the talking. Tim Duncan quietly won 5 titles and 3 finals MVPs and stayed silent. His game spoke louder than any speech ever could. LeBron didn't wait. He stepped in front of the camera and declared himself the greatest. And that difference is at the heart of this entire debate.
LeBron James, there's only one player we look at and we say definitively we think was better. And that was Michael Jordan. They were trying to compel people to say he was the greatest. Michael Jordan didn't say that about himself. Kobe Bryant didn't say that about himself. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't say that about himself. Bill Russell didn't say that about himself. Tim Duncan didn't say that about himself. Nobody said that. Nobody but him. Steph Curry hasn't said that about himself. Steph Curry has never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Ray Allen never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Reggie Miller never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Allen Houston never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Nobody called themselves the greatest in anything but that man and his camp.
And his camp echoed it while friendly media turn the volume all the way up. Anytime someone questions it, the reaction is immediate outrage, like the world is disrespecting him for not signing off right away. But that's not confidence. That's pressure. That's strain. That's a legacy trying to prop itself up instead of standing on its own. Real greatness doesn't need a PR team or a list of talking points. It's undeniable. It's untouchable. The work speaks louder than any promo ever could. Look at Steph Curry. He completely rewired basketball with his shooting and shattered records people once thought were untouchable. He never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Everyone else did, because his game made the case for him. Ray Allen held the record before Steph and never crowned himself either. Those guys understood the code. When you're truly the best, the world makes the announcement. You don't have to say a word because the proof speaks for itself. LeBron broke that code. He looked at history, saw the throne, and instead of letting the game place him there, he tried to take it himself. His circle hyped it. The media pushed it. And suddenly the timeline was flooded with highlight reels, think pieces, and carefully chosen stats, all trying to rewrite something everyone already knows. Jordan is the standard. He always has been, and he always will be. No amount of self-promotion can change that. And if you want to talk numbers, let's talk dominance. Because 40-point games reveal who truly controls the floor when it matters most.
I know your man got 7 more years in the league and still chasing Jordan. 7 more years. He don't even have more rings. Been in the league long enough that I was in college. And still, he ain't catch Jordan.
And still get him there.
Michael Jordan recorded 173 games with 40 or more points, and he did it in just 15 seasons. 2 of those seasons came after long retirements, and 2 more were spent in Washington when he was clearly past his prime, playing on bad knees simply because he loved the game. That means Jordan's true peak really lasted about 11 seasons. And in that window, he still dropped 173 40-point games that LeBron James, now in his 22nd season, just reached career 40-point game number 78. After 7 more seasons than Jordan, more possessions, more opportunities, and more advantages, he's still not even halfway to Jordan's total. 7 extra years, yet nearly 100 games behind that LeBron's career has stretched across multiple eras, backed by modern training, sports science, load management, and every benefit today's NBA offers. And even with all of that, he still hasn't matched what Jordan did in a shorter, tougher span. Jordan didn't need 2 decades to prove he was the alpha. He walked into the league and started dominating immediately. For Jordan, 40-point games weren't milestones. They were routine. When LeBron scores 40, it becomes a national event. Social media explodes, and the GOAT hashtags start trending. When every big performance has to be hyped just to keep the storyline alive, it usually means the performances aren't loud enough on their own. Jordan did his damage in an era where defense was punishment. Hand-checking was legal. Hits were harder. Flagrant fouls were often just called play on. The league was physical, rough, and unforgiving that LeBron has played in a league where brushing a shooter's hand is a foul and the rules are built to boost offense. And even with that tilt, he's still chasing. Greatness shows early. Jordan proved that the moment he entered the league in 1984. He didn't need years to develop or veterans to teach him how to win. He walked into Chicago, a franchise with no real history, and flipped everything upside down. By year 3, he was averaging 37 a night. By year 7, he won his first championship. After that, it became dynasty mode. 6 rings in 8 years that LeBron entered the league in 2003 with more hype than anyone ever, labeled the Chosen One. Yet he spent 8 years trying to figure it out in Cleveland. He reached the finals once in 2007 and got swept. Not just beaten, outmatched. No answer. No killer instinct moment. After 8 years of coming up short, LeBron did something Jordan never would. He left. He walked away from Cleveland and joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami. That's where he finally learned how to win. But that isn't dominance. That's tutoring. Jordan didn't need to leave Chicago to learn how to close. He fought through the fire and built everything himself. LeBron needed a blueprint, a super team, and 2 other all-stars just to get over the hump. And even then, It took 2 full years in Miami before he finally won his first ring. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button. Share this video with every basketball fan you know, and hit subscribe so we can keep dropping the truth with no noise. See you on the next